my brother or somebody who was reading it for the first time in my childhood or memories or whatever, this is where they stopped.
Really?
Because it was so fun.
Book
They
3
powered
was
through,
fun.
the Hobbit stuff at the beginning, and then all of book 1 is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then book 3, I should say book 1 and 2. Then book 3, I feel like also a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff happening. So the change of pace to Frodo and Sam with just the first 2 chapters of book 4, I think that's what got somebody. Something about the dead marshes and whatever, because we were watching the movie and someone's like, oh, I could never get through this in the book. This is what got me.
Well,
But I didn't
actually,
mind it.
Let's talk about that. What did you guys think? Because I have heard the same sentiment that the book 4 is more not as action packed as book 3. But when you were reading it, did you actually enjoy it?
I definitely thought it was slower and
Yeah.
just it all felt like it was in the same spot where like everybody's been traveling so far. I was like, all right, same scene. And it just felt like one really long, detailed hike. So I was not super into it like that, but I was more into it in like,
You're about to go backpacking. This is going to be like
I know.
your bread and butter.
I know. Oh, this is going to be me. But I liked it because the characters, like we hadn't been with Sam and Frodo for a long
Yes.
time. And then just like Smeagol is so fascinating to me.
Oh my God.
So like even if it was slow and kind of felt the same, I was like, I don't really mind because I think the characters are interesting at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just different from the movies. And maybe if I hadn't seen the movies and didn't have all that comparison, then I maybe it would be even less. But I don't know. That's good.
I found
Yeah.
I
myself
still
really,
enjoy.
I found myself really missing Frodo and Sam in book 3. Like when I know it was action packed and there was like a ton of stuff going on, but I really missed both of them.
It felt like
Hmm.
a really long time.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. And so it's so bizarre. Well, like I was going through the timeline of things in my head, and it's bizarre that all of book 3 happens within like a week. And then all of a sudden you just rewind that week and
Right.
Frodo and Sam in like 2 chapters get to the same place where they are. In
Yeah, I
Helm's
was just
Deep
going to say, right.
in like a week. Or
So
they get
are we
there in 2
past
chapters.
Helm's Deep now?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're past the
yeah.
Palantir vision because the Nazgul comes racing over.
I was just going to say, okay, that's what that is from.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
okay.
that kind of blew my mind of like just the
Hmm.
timeline of things. But it was fun to just go back a week and like get Frodo and Sam in Emyn Muil. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
just really missed them. So I was really happy to be back with them.
Yeah.
It felt like buddies like I haven't seen in a long time. What would you say? Like, so your brother quit that. Do you think he'd pick it up now and would actually?
Well,
like
he
it?
actually did pick it up now, and now he read it and really enjoyed it. So I think that would be true for a lot of people. Maybe it's expectations or age or something else, but I feel like there are just certain chapters you have to really love the characters to enjoy them. And these were character-driven chapters that I loved.
Yeah.
But how could you not like these
I know,
characters?
yeah.
I mean, you're right.
Like there was a bunch of things going on in all 3 of these chapters. Like the Taming of Smeagol chapter was really interesting. I think maybe people would say out of these 3 chapters, maybe the Black Gate is Closed is the most boring, but that was still so scintillating to me because it's such good character development. Like I
Yeah.
felt like we got good character development in book 3 and like,
Yeah.
we knew who these characters were, but all of these chapters move so well that you understand Frodo and Sam so like why they act the way they act. Frodo is so much better in the books and the movies. He's like so much stronger. Sam is like amazed at Frodo and his responses to things.
Yep.
Like there was a line, I think in the Black Gate is Closed, that it says like Sam thought he had mistake or he like knew that Frodo was the kindest person ever, and that kind of made him naive. And he thought it made him blind to things. And he realized that it didn't because Frodo was like seeing right through Gollum's
Right.
little plots. It was just, I just loved it.
He called Frodo the wisest person he ever met or something.
Except for maybe Gandalf and Bilbo. Yeah.
Yep.
It was just so good. So let's get started on chapter 1, The Taming of Smeagol. You guys got a summary of this
Oh,
chapter?
I thought you were gonna do like welcome. to
Oh,
the-
shoot.
Oh,
that was like a great segue.
Good
That was a great
reminder.
segue. Dang it. Well, welcome to the podcast. I'm John. Jen
Danny?
And Lizzie.
and this is the Fellowship of the First Time Readers.
There we go.
Jen is hopefully going to.
Yeah, I just heard
join
in West
us
Bark. I thought
later.
maybe she's here.
I know.
And I'm curious because she was reading like today mostly.
Oh, really?
So I was like curious how she likes the
Fresh in her
chapters.
mind.
She was like, oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gonna join us a little bit later. She's has a late shift at work today, so.
All right, Taming of Smeagol.
Taming of Smeagol. Yeah, we got a chat summary.
Sam and Frodo climb down out of the Emyn Mule and catch Gollum along the way because he was following them. Frodo makes Smeagol promise on the ring, and then they trust him to lead them.
Yes. Perfect. Emyn Muil. What do you guys think of Emyn Muil?
So you say it?
How do you say it?
I don't know. I don't say
Yeah,
it.
Lizzie.
You can't make fun of me.
Pronounce
You don't
it
have
for
actually has the
us.
It
guts
was
to
a
say
genuine question.
it. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
The Emyn Muil. I mispronounce so many different things in this book.
Emyn
Well, it was weird
Mule.
because
Mule.
by the time we got to later chapters, like in the next or the next two, all of a sudden looking back, it's just like it said in those chapters, in hindsight, it felt like it would be paradise. They were dreaming of the Emyn Mule as a vacation land
Yeah.
almost. And then they were being maybe sarcastic in that thought. But that's kind of how I almost felt as I was reading it. It just, I think it said something about a waterfall or something. And I'm just like, oh, is this a little nicer than I'm picturing?
Yeah.
Because in the movies, it looks so bleak, and maybe it felt bleak to them. But it also just didn't feel that bad. I guess it didn't feel as much of a labyrinth as I imagined it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But I guess it must have been. And then the heights thing, climbing a mountain, I guess that's scary.
Yeah.
Chance of death.
Honestly, I picture it like a pretty normal place, just super rocky and like pretty open compared to like they've been in the woods in the snow.
Yeah.
So when they're
yeah.
like, I want the south and the heat, like, yeah, now they have it. But I think it's just like endless wandering, like trying to find the right path.
It really is funny too, because like every place they go and they look to get out of that place and
Yeah.
they're like looking for a better spot or like a new territory or terrain, and then all of a sudden they hit the new terrain and then they're like, no, I want the old stuff
Yeah.
again. Or like they're on these rocks and they're like, oh, I'd rather go anywhere, and then they're in the marshes and they're like, oh, I'd rather go anywhere.
Yep.
They
And
want
just
to be
keep
in the
hitting
Shire.
crap spots. Exactly, I
They
know. That's
never
why.
wanted to leave anyway.
Yeah.
Even in Rivendell, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, the Shire.
My own
That one
bed.
section about beds, yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, not in Lothlorien. I want to go to Rivendell for my own bed. Yeah, this place is really creepy though, because there's a description that it says that there's no birds that make any noises there. I just felt like it was a really interesting description. Or it says, no, this was actually the marshes. It says, beyond its tumbled skirts lay livid, festering marshes where nothing moved and not even a bird was to be seen. Like, that's a really creepy place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like marshes should be filled with birds. Am I right?
Sure, yeah. Definitely.
And these not being filled with birds is a little creepy. But we'll talk about that in the next chapter.
I was surprised how quickly they knew that it was Gollum. Because even on the
Yeah.
second page of the chapter, they're like, did you see them again? Talking about his eyes. Those eyes did give me a turn. And I guess it makes sense, but it's been so long since we've heard Gollum's for all of book 3 that it just felt like, oh, whoa, they're very aware. Like, yeah, he's still behind us. We've been keeping an eye on him. We look at his creepy little eyes in the dark. And it doesn't scare them like the way I feel
they're
like it
not
should.
scared of him, I feel
I'm like,
Which is mind-blowing.
yeah, they're so calm. How?
I don't get it. And they keep being like, he's so much more dangerous than you think too. Like, he'll
Yeah.
eat you, he'll kill you. And then they'll just jump on him like
Yeah.
it's nothing.
Yep.
That
I
actually
do
blew
not
my
get
mind.
that.
That was like a kind of insane part of the whole narrative when all of a sudden Sam's like, oh, let me go get a better view of him. Like, let me creep up on him. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
he like eats children. Don't do that.
I feel like that must be one of these soft magic hobbit powers
Yeah,
because
I like
it's like this weird bravery where they're just not worried. I don't know why. It just feels like they're so casual.
Yeah.
Wait, and I'm just trying to think, have they seen really dark stuff yet? Did they see anything with Boromir? Or is it all just still part of the adventure? Have they seen anyone die other than Gandalf? No,
they-
you can't see a
mean, the
Balrog. And,
Balrog.
like, I mean, by now they must know there's some
They've
evil in the
seen
world,
those.
and but they're just so confident.
Yeah, it is actually
And they've
mind
seen
blowing.
the ring
Frodo
race.
especially is just so much more confident in the book than the movie. We'll talk about that later. But another question that I had for this chapter was, it just got me thinking about their original plan. And this is like maybe a dumb question, but we were talking about Smeagol and like how he was following the group, and all of a sudden Frodo is not like, afraid of him. But what do you think Gandalf's original plan for getting into Mordor was? Like, I was thinking about that the other day, just like, on a walk, and I was like, what did he hope to do? Because I came up with like a random theory about this, that he just kind of was guided by providence, and like I can't really back this up, but it seems strange that he allowed Gollum to follow them. Like, he knew that Gollum was following them because he died in Moria. So like maybe he was planning to deal with Gollum after Moria, because Gollum would like, make a ruckus in Moria. But it seems strange. So maybe like Gandalf knew that Smeagol needed to be like added to this because he knew another way into Moria, and Gandalf didn't know that way into Moria.
That's like my headcanon.
Really?
Do you remember that? Like,
oh yeah.
when I said from the movie before reading the book, I was like, I think Gandalf in Moria like waited at those 3 doorways till they could see Smeagol,
right.
So that he could explain it to them. So you literally like, that's the same kind of train of thought.
Okay, I like it.
But I don't know. It had to be sneaky. Like, he could not have wanted to walk up to the gate. He definitely had to have either he already found some pathway, or he knew what Smeagol knew, or he was just gonna get there and like have to figure it out. But,
but it's like random thoughts that I have of like, what was Gandalf's original plan? But I love that.
I don't know. He's
Like-
guided by fate.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of imagine Gandalf's original plan was to go to Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he had Aragorn with him, and it feels like from there you could come up with some kind of plan. I don't know what it would be, but maybe eventually he was hoping to muster a bit of an army and then actually march on the Black Gates, and then have Frodo be going in some secret way, distraction, whatever. I think that's how I imagined it, but he also might have just been flying with the seat of his pants.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know if he ever got that far.
Yeah. I like that plan too, because I feel like he knows Aragorn is going to go to Gondor and like, regain his throne. So maybe he's hoping that Aragorn will muster all the troops, and then they'll do the distraction thing, where they'll try to draw all the forces out of the Black Gate, and then all of a sudden, Frodo can sneak by. But still, it is actually mind blowing too. In the movies, it's like they get into Mordor and it's like a few hour journey to Mount Doom. I think it's going to be like multiple days in Mordor. It seems like it's going to be a longer time where they're in Mordor going to Mount Doom than we think. So I'm curious about that too, to be honest. But yeah. What else you guys got in this chapter? I got a lot of other stuff, but
let me just keep flipping here.
I know. I'm looking at all my notes here.
Smeagol? What do you guys think about Smeagol?
What a
like,
cute.
how is he different? Because like, I feel like partly the movie did a perfect job with Smeagol. Like, I could totally see how that's perfect. And then the other side of me is like, it's completely different, completely wrong. So I don't know what to think.
I'm kind of with you. I think they nailed him, and I think they butchered him at the same time.
Yeah.
I've been trying to see him as Smeagol and Gollum, or what does Sam call him?
Stinker and Slinker.
Yeah.
Stinker and Slinker. And I've been trying to read his lines distinctly with the different personalities in mind,
I like that.
but sometimes it's hard to tell. So I think it's adding more depth in the movies. I've never watched with that in mind, except for the obvious scenes where they're going back and forth and showing his like conversations. But he does seem deeper. And I am wondering, there are like a few key moments, and I'll look at my notes if it was this chapter. I think in the next chapter, where I'm actually kind of wondering if he would have been, could have been good. Like it always felt like Gandalf thought he had potential to be good. We don't want to decide his fate. Who are we to like kill? And then it feels like Frodo kind of believes that and has me believing it. Like if I didn't know the ending, if I hadn't seen the movies, I'd be like, I see a redemption arc here.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, it's so weird. So I'm trying to understand it. And then I'm curious how things will end, potentially a little different in the books from the Smeagol perspective.
Yeah.
He's deeper than I thought.
He is much deeper than I thought. And I'm trying to analyze him, not necessarily through like, 21st century lens here, but I think it's different from the movies in that in the movies, when they capture him, I feel like Smeagol is in the driver's seat after that. until he gets abandoned abandoned in the Forbidden Pool. In the books, it seems like Gollum is still completely in control, and Smeagol only pops up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like the thing that we'll talk about that shocked me was at the Black Gate when he rescues them. He's like, "Don't take the ring to him." He's like, "You could go away and give Smeagol the ring and go like back to the Shire and enjoy life and let Smeagol have the ring." And I'm like, that's not in the movies. In the movies, that's a great moment for him because he's like, "Don't take it to him." And he's like, he mustn't have it. And it's like, you're like, oh, this is actual change in Smeagol.
Yeah.
And in the books, it's like he has not changed yet. In the books, they capture him, which might be more realistic for like an addiction kind of idea of who Smeagol is. He doesn't just change immediately. It's like a slow journey maybe to his change. And I'm curious if we'll ever get this like big definitive moment for Smeagol where he like redeems himself to some extent, or not necessarily redeems himself, but like, helps the ring out in some way or helps destroy the ring in some way. But it's very different. But I also think they do a great job with him. I think the movies did a great job with him.
Yeah. So difficult to capture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Lizzie?
Just thinking about it. No, I agree. Like, he's much more like, I have really like no pity for him when I watch the movie. Like, he is just Gollum. He's kind of gross. I don't trust him. But then in the book, they have to treat him much more human. So then I feel like, okay, they kind of trust him and they fell asleep and he didn't eat them. And then he's actually like guiding them correctly. And then the other thing, I noticed that Frodo is like so great at talking with him immediately. And I was like, where did you get that from, Frodo? Because like he didn't really have that personality, I feel like. And then it's kind of like when somebody's really good with kids and they can just like talk to kids super easily. Like that was kind of how Frodo was to me. I was like, how did you know how to just handle that situation so well? And then it said they were kind of akin to each other. They just like had an understanding of one another. I was like, that's so weird. And I was like, is that the ring?
Yeah.
Just, like,
I kind of think so,
bonding you?
right?
Like the same ring personality trait is just connecting you.
I think this is kind of like Harry finding a commonality with Voldemort in a lot of things. Like they both had this commonality of the ring, and that was an interesting thing because one of the things that I was like, he's still such a creepy character. I thought the dialogue that he had when they were like taking a nap in that little pit, and Sam wakes up and like keeps his eyes open and he's reaching out every time Gollum takes over to try to grab the ring, and then he refrains every time Smeagol takes over. So it's like you definitely see this guy wants the ring more than anything else. It's like kind of terrifying, but I'm curious too, because I know I like read some papers on this because I was really curious about this and I wrote a little essay about this, but how people diagnosed him or like what people thought he potentially could have. And there's a lot of different theories out there, but nothing really matches perfectly, which is why a lot of people go in the addiction route. And so there's like a few different theories that people have for what Smeagol is really going through. And the most common one is really addiction. Like he has some kind of addiction to the ring and he's been abused by the ring and abused by numerous other people. So they kind of like think that that's the main thing that he's dealing with. He's like an addict going through withdrawal. Then a lot of people think that he has some kind of personality disorder, but that one's a little less popular, I think. And then a lot of people go with Tolkien's like religion and his faith and thinking that this is like someone battling, sin and trying to deal with like sin and the evil in their own life and trying to like take it off the throne or whatever it is. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics, but I don't know if any of them perfectly matches. I think this is like a really interesting character. I haven't seen like like many other characters like Smeagol in any book that I've ever read.
Yeah.
Like he is very unique.
But he's still in it for himself, right? Like he's been sent out by
That's a great question. I don't know.
before.
Yeah.
Or are we
was
assuming
he?
that he's on these like evil errands and he's like sneaking around?
I think a bit of both. Like I think Sauron sent him out almost like letting Smeagol think that he escaped or something like that. Like it seems like it's mixed.
But I feel like if Sauron just keeps eyes on Smeagol, Smeagol's good enough to just get the ring and then Sauron can just grab Smeagol. That's kind of like simplistically my mind was thinking that.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's
right.
what's happening.
Well, I actually did question that when we kept seeing the wraiths fly over.
Mhm.
And then the first time we see them, it felt like it flew to them
Yeah.
and then flew low and then turned around. So when we get to it, I'll read it again. But I was like, did it just find them and now it's going back to
Yeah.
It's like,
explain
all right,
this?
they're here.
Why would
It's
it go
fine.
to the marshes and turn around? Unless it just happened to get called right then.
Yeah.
You know, but what are the chances? It'd be over their head and turn around.
But
Yeah. Again, just another element or reason not to trust Gollum, where I'm like, he's shady.
Yeah.
Does he think he escaped?
And then and there's a weird thing too
yeah.
that he has that he got me thinking this because we don't necessarily know for sure what is going on here. But when the wraiths are flying overhead in the dead marshes and he keeps like going, oh, he sees, he knows.
Right.
Like, I'm like, does he see? Does he know that they're
right,
there?
Right.
I'm like paranoid with him. So Gollum's fears are completely, I think, paranoid and they're not based in reality. But at the same time, they are because the ring is abusing him and using him. And Sauron has these Palantir. And there was something that I completely glanced over that I just wrote an essay about this because someone made like a comment about it on YouTube. There's a line in The Black Gate is Closed that talks about how Sauron actually has form. He's like corporeal. He's not just this eye on the top of Barad-dûr because he actually tortured Gollum. Because Gollum talks about it and he's like, oh, he has 4 fingers on his hand.
Yeah.
That they cut off one from the ring. And it wasn't like the movies where they slice off all
I
his
thought that
fingers.
too. I was like,
Yeah.
one finger.
They just
What
cut off
in the
one
world?
finger. And then Gollum says, oh, but he can do a lot with those 4 fingers. Like, or something like that. He says something along those lines where the implication is that he tortured Gollum with those 4 fingers. Like just his presence alone. And then
Yeah.
after that, he like sent Gollum to go look for the ring, knowing that this creature would be so drawn to the ring that he'd like find it. I don't, again, we're first time readers, so we don't know what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah. But that is the impression. Yeah, it's a fair
That's
thought.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, we just got a $2 donation from Philip. Thank you.
Hey.
Thanks, Philip.
Thanks for the $2. Really appreciate it. Philip makes a ton of comments on all of the essays too. So
Oh, good. We
One of
love
the,
that.
Shout
One of
out
the,
to
like,
Philip.
dedicated viewers.
It sounds like
So
he
thank
probably knows more than us. And
Yeah.
we need, yeah.
he is one of the
okay,
lore
nice.
masters.
Philip
of
knows.
this.
All right, good.
Yeah.
He's like laughing like they're so wrong.
Yes, I think it's fun for these people though. Like they're like lore masters, and they're like, oh, these guys are idiots versus their, maybe they get some things
Yeah.
right, but it's kind of fun. They're like seeing it through fresh eyes again.
I feel like after 3 reads, I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
I got this.
Whoa, 3 reads. You're already planning
not
on
all
like.
of it. I'm saying that's like base level, and then I can be a lore master. Or
Yeah, I believe that.
enthusiast.
I think I'm gonna have these on audiobook all the time, just like listening
Yeah.
to them. They just seem like
I
they're
could
great.
definitely see that.
And I think I can't wait till I get to the Silmarillion too. I think that's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in here. One little thing, the elven rope, awesome. Love that
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
around.
Does it have magic power?
Why could Frodo not see in this thing when he fell down? I was like,
That
this
what
is
I was
more than
thinking.
blows
just
my
darkness.
You
This
know
is
what
something
else,
else.
though?
Yeah, what's
I
the
think after he got stabbed by the knife, it said that he had like really good night vision.
Mhm.
And I was like, where
And
did
hearing.
his night
Oh.
vision go? That like he was like best
Interesting.
at that, and now he can't
and now
even
it's
see.
fading?
And Sam's like, what do you mean? It's not that far.
yeah,
you
like
can't
it's
see me."
cool, dude. What's up?
So I have no idea.
From the lightning or something else worse. I could see nothing at all until the gray rope came down. Seemed to be shimmering somehow. So to me, this darkness was caused by some kind of evil or a black rider flying overhead or whatever. And then the elven rope he could see because that's the good magic to counter whatever this bad magic is.
Mm.
But then we never got any conclusion. I don't know if we ever will, but there could be something in the future that then the movies never touched that the books talk
Yeah.
about. But I thought that was weird.
Because he has that in Moria too, because he's actually able to hear Gollum, and like no one else in the party is able to hear
Yeah.
him. Like
Yep.
even like Aragorn can't track him, and
Mm.
and he hears him,
Mhm.
and he's like able to see things in the dark that are a little different. That little moment where he's like blind, he can't see, was so bizarre. Where is it in the book again? What page? Oh, you're a
I
different
mean,
book.
yeah, 595 to me, but it's like 4 pages into the chapter.
Oh, he goes, "It's good to be able to see again," said Frodo, breathing deep. Do you know? I thought for a bit that I had lost my sight from the lightning or something else worse. I could see nothing at all until the gray rope came down. It seemed to shimmer somehow. It does look sort of silver in the dark, said Sam. Never noticed it before, though I can't remember it as I've ever had it out since I first stowed it. But if you're so set on climbing, Mr. Frodo, and he goes on and he just talks about climbing, and I'm like, Sam,
I was like, maybe he hit his
Like-
head.
Right.
yeah, you might have to go through concussion protocol right here, or ask him questions because I want to know.
Well, like Sam said, 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs earlier, Rain's nearly given over already. But don't you go doing anything risky, Mr. Frodo. I haven't gotten over that shriek on the wind yet. If you have, like a black rider, it sounded. So the fact that he said that and then says, but one up in the air if they can fly. He literally is saying it sounded like a black rider in the air, but can they fly? Well, he nailed it, as we
Yeah.
find out later.
Because
so
Celeborn,
something
wait,
here.
Celeborn gave him this rope, right?
Yeah, well, I was wait, was this the official gift or was this just the rope maker who gave it to him? Yeah, no, I think he was talking to the rope maker and was like, "Whoa, I
Yeah.
love ropes. What in the world?" And then maybe
And then he
it
pulled out
was
his
the
own
official
rope, I
gift,
think.
though.
It-
Then they said, "We heard you like ropes."
Yeah, this
Here.
wasn't his official gift. I don't think.
Oh, this was a bonus one, and then
Maybe this is
No,
a
but
bonus
he
he
didn't.
got dirt as his
Yeah.
gift.
You're right.
the
You're
dirt
right.
was the best
Wow,
gift.
Lizzie, nice. You are a lore master.
Yeah.
So yeah, this might have just been a bonus one. Like, oh, no big deal. You want some fancy magic
Some
rope?
I also love.
Is it made out of elf?
Because in the
hair?
movie, it
I know.
is his
I
gift.
don't think
Okay.
so. Maybe that'd be sweet.
I was
if
like,
it was
maybe
made of
that's why
elf
it's
hair.
glowing.
And maybe, yeah, it's interesting too because like it seems like that other moment that happened that was bizarre that I keep thinking about is when he crosses over into Rivendell and he's about to like faint. Glorfindel is like glowing. So I'm like, elves seem to be able to like glow in the dark for something.
But that's the whole light of the even stars.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
you're kind of right. But maybe this rope is made of some, like they dipped it in that or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, it's got some magic to it
Yeah.
because Gollum Smeagol did not like this rope, which I thought was interesting because in the movies that never really felt like the vibe. It
Yeah.
felt like he didn't like being captured.
Yeah.
But here it was like, no, the rope itself is torturing him.
I also loved when they look down this cliff and Sam's like, oh, Mr. Frodo, I'll go first. And he starts to go down head first. And Frodo's like, you're an idiot. You're going to die. Can we think about this logically?
That's great.
Like Sam is great in this. It's interesting too, because Sam is such a different character in the book than the movie. He's kind of more of like an idiot in the book. He just like is a bit more brash. I think he's incredible in the book. I love him with everything in me in the book. But he's not as like, he's more moody. He's more grumpy. He's more like, fine, I'll just do it kind of attitude than he is in the movie, which I think is great. But I love him just like going headfirst over this cliff and Frodo being the one that stops him.
He's so sassy too.
Yeah,
to Gollum.
seriously. Yeah.
Like he's
Slinker and
never
stinker.
nice to him.
Yeah.
Not that like I would really be either, but I was like, man, Frodo is so chill. And then
So
Sam was just
true.
going after everything.
Yeah. And then I like it that like this is a line that I like that they're in Emmanuel and they're like miserable. Then all of a sudden it says, "It certainly came," said Frodo. And that's the chief thing. But now we've got to think of our next move. Night will be on us soon. And he goes, "How beautiful the stars are and the moon." I love that. I'm like, they're in the middle of this miserable place.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, look at the stars though." That's great.
And I was trying to dig deeper into this moon thing only because Smeagol was talking about it later with Whiteface and then Yellowface. And
Yeah.
so then I'm like, he specifically mentions it's not quite a full moon. So I was trying to figure out what the deal was with moon. And it seems like it could be an elf power kind of thing.
Ooh, yeah.
But then it feels like maybe Smeagol, I forget if he's not that scared of the moon, but he's very
He
scared
doesn't
of...
like either.
He doesn't like either. Okay, but
Yeah.
the white face is better than the yellow face.
I think
the
so, yeah.
sun. Okay. So I've just thought there's like a little more going on with the moon, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Definitely seems like he only likes traveling with like a new moon or like, a very small sliver of a moon or something like that. He almost talked about this like with a deity kind of sense too. Like the yellow face and the white face. But I loved Tolkien's writing when he comes down this like precipice. It says, down the face of a precipice, sheer and almost smooth, it seemed in the pale moonlight. A small black shape was moving with its thin limbs splayed out. Maybe its soft clinging hands and toes were finding crevices and holes that no hobbit could have ever used or seen. But it looked as if it was just creeping down on sticky pads, like some large prowling thing of an insect kind, and it was coming down head first as if it was smelling its way. Now and again it lifted its head slowly, turning it right back on its long skinny neck, and the hobbits caught a glimpse of two small pale gleaming lights. Its eyes, that blinked at the moon for a moment and then were quickly lit again. Like I was reading that and I was like shivering. I was like, this is
Yep.
terrifying.
So creepy.
It's such good writing. And then when they actually like get him, or they're like talking, and Frodo goes, "He's getting near now, near enough to hear a whisper." Indeed, Gollum had suddenly paused again, and his large head on its scrawny neck was lolling from side to side as if he was listening. His pale eyes were half unlidded. Sam restrained himself, though his fingers were twitching. His eyes, filled with anger and disgust, were fixed on the wretched creature as he now began to move again, still whispering and hissing to himself. It's like a terrifying description. Like, this is such
Yeah.
an interesting entrance that he has. And it's funny too, because like we have never seen him really before until this moment. Like, we know the movies, but like we have never seen him until this
Mhm.
moment, and it's a terrifying entrance.
As I read, I try to picture him like dark, like the orcs blending into the rocks, and then has like really tiny eyes, because
Yeah.
that's like the most opposite of the movie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I feel like Smeagol's eyes are so big on his head that he looks like goofy, like not really human
Right.
or hobbit. Is he hobbit? What is he? I don't even
Something
know.
similar to a hobbit.
Yeah,
once.
something similar to Hobbit, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I try to imagine it like differently than that, because I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like it'd be fun if he was really like dark and you couldn't really see him anyway. Like he
Yeah.
was just like, he looked like a rock.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a chameleon or
Nice.
something.
You guys ever see The Hunger Games?
Yeah.
No.
When Peter like disguises himself as a rock, this one guy like is good at this camouflage, and all of a sudden he like opens his eyes and he's in a rock. I'm like, that's Gollum. He's just
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
perfectly
And then all you
disguised,
see is the eyes.
and then you just see the eyes. I feel like his skin kind of is like rock like.
I don't know. He's blending in everywhere he goes in the shadows. So I feel like he can't be this like white. I don't know. He looks too clean in the movie.
Hmm.
I know he does look too clean in the movie. There's actually a big debate that I was discovering whether his skin is blackish or whitish.
Hmm.
Like
Blackish.
different images depict him as having different color skin, which is interesting.
Right.
I think there's like a big debate on that in the Lord of the Rings community.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We haven't gotten a lot of description out of him,
Yeah.
or what we have could easily be a little exaggerated. I was picturing him a little more human, or a little more hobbit here, to make him less threatening, because it felt like the way they were treating him was not like a threat. So then I'm like, well, if Frodo's
Yeah.
treating him so easily like trustworthy, maybe it's just ring power bonding, but it also feels like he's maybe less creepy looking.
Yeah.
But he's going down like
I know, but then this
Arms
is it's hard.
first?
Like, and the movies did a great job with that. Like,
yeah.
that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And it's not human to be able to like crawl this way, as if your
Yeah.
hands are sticky and you could just.
I feel like
Creep
maybe
on
they're just
down.
used to other creatures in Middle Earth, and they're
Oh,
used
that's
to
a
like
good
not
point.
knowing what's going on because they've been so
Mm.
like sheltered in the Shire,
Hmm.
and they've had exposure to him for so long that they're like, all right, the time has come. Let's go
Right.
get him. And then he just jumps on him.
like maybe it's kind of freeing to at least know where he is, rather
Yeah.
than like
Yeah.
he could be anywhere out here. We don't know.
Or even like, didn't they know that Gandalf had already spoken to him and like met
Hmm,
him?
yeah,
'Cause
they
that's
did know
also
that.
like another familiarity thing.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I would be scared.
Same.
I would start running.
I would be terrified. Absolutely terrified of that.
I'd be like,
Oh my
I would
gosh.
need a bow and arrow, like long distance
Yeah,
kill.
yeah, yeah.
Like I don't even
Need
want
a
to.
sniper rifle.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, and then he pulls out his sting and he's like, "You've met it before, haven't you?" I was like, "Okay, Frodo."
Frodo's responses in this
He's
are
on it.
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like, I mean, I've dealt with people who have kind of like, issues like Gollum, and all people say to act like Frodo in this situation, like be very firm.
So good.
Like, it's the first thing that you're supposed to do when you meet like a person like that. Be firm. Don't like give them any leeway or like any like, little wiggle room. And Frodo does that. He's very firm in his descriptions and in what he says. And I love that the moment with Gandalf just comes out here. Like Frodo is thinking about this thing and he goes, no, if we kill him, we must kill him outright. But we can't do that. Not as things are. Poor wretch. He has done us no harm, which is a bit of an overstatement. And I think he has done them significant harm, like stalking them the entire time. Oh, hasn't he? Said Sam, rubbing his shoulder. Anyway, he meant to, and he means to, I'll warrant. Throttle us in our sleep. That's his plan. And I love that these are two completely extreme positions. I dare say, said Frodo, but what he means to do is another matter. He paused for a while and thought. Gollum lay still, but stopped whimpering. Sam stood glowering over him. It seemed Frodo then had heard quite plainly, but far off, voices out of the past. What a pity Bilbo did not stab the vile creature when he had the chance. Pity, it was pity that stayed his hand. Pity and mercy not to strike without need. I do not feel any pity for Gollum. He deserves death. Deserves death? I dare say he does. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give that to them? Then be not too eager to deal out death in the name of justice, fearing for your own safety. Even the wise cannot see all ends.
They like misquoted that though.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
bothered me.
I think they didn't get it perfect, but
Who's they? You mean
I don't
here
know.
or in the
in
movies?
the movies.
No, this is not a direct quote from the first book.
Whoa. I didn't even
It's, like,
notice.
slightly off.
Hmm.
Well, that's Frodo's memory. I wouldn't be able to remember that perfectly word for word.
Or is it Gandalf's memory?
Yeah, there you go.
Quite plainly, but far off.
There's a rainbow right there.
Voice out of the past.
Like super faint.
I see it. Nice.
Hey, we got a rainbow. It is still so warm in here.
Double rainbow. That is warm.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
But I do love Frodo's response here. He's just so firm with them.
Hmm.
We'll talk about that as the chapters go on, but so good. You guys have anything else in this chapter? I also, another thing that I love, sorry. I asked you that and then I fill it in. At last, Frodo was convinced that he really was in pain. So first of all, one of my questions is Gollum actually in pain from this rope? Why is this rope causing him pain? Is it something in the rope? Because Frodo could see it shimmering. So is there something like Gollum can't touch about this rope because it's elvish? Maybe evil creatures can't touch this thing without feeling pain? Because Sam touches it and he doesn't feel pain. He didn't doesn't tie himself, but...
Was that like the same kind of rope that they would have had him in, like
Maybe.
when the wood elves
In
had
Mirkwood?
him?
Yeah,
Mm.
I
maybe.
don't know.
I'm going to say it must be a light thing. Like
Mhm.
the fact that it's visible, it has
Ooh.
actual light in it,
Interesting.
the same kind of light that he doesn't like from the sun or even the moon. And Sam is saying even the moon could be some kind of elf magic.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, this rope feels more like moon magic. You know,
I like
like
that,
something
yeah.
about that like soft, subtle light. Or even just the idea that the moon doesn't create light, it's just reflecting it. So the
Yeah.
rope too is just kind of some kind of elf light that's being reflected through this rope. Just like Frodo's thing that he's got, even though it's not been used yet.
Because it says here too, he examined it and found that it was not too tight, indeed hardly tight enough. And I love this line. Sam was gentler than his words. I love that. Sam is harsh, but then really he's just a big softy at heart, you know, doesn't tie it too tight. And then this section was nuts too. When he goes, no, not on it, said Frodo, looking down at him with stern pity. All you wish is to see it and touch it, if you can. Though you know it would drive you mad. Not on it, swear by it, if you will. For you know where it is. Yes, you know, Smeagol. It is before you. I'm like, Frodo, no, don't say that. Like, you're tempting him. You're just like openly
Right.
tempting him here to snatch the ring. And in the next chapter, you kind of see that moment where he's like reaching out and having this back and forth in his own mind about like stealing the ring. That was a bold choice by Frodo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that one, but
It was the first thing to me that it feels maybe different from the movies, but it happened again later where there's this confidence from Frodo where it almost feels like power, like he hasn't had a lot of that as a hobbit, but he said it again in the other chapter where he says something about if you try to take it, I'll use the power of the ring and throw you in the fire, which I'm like, foreshadowing, cool. And then it even made me rethink the ending. But then it also felt out of character for Frodo somehow. This kind of boldness, threatening. I was like, is that Frodo? Is it the ring talking? Or Frodo's getting a little more arrogant than he usually would be?
Because one of the more interesting lines comes next after that, because it says, for a moment it appeared to Sam that his master had grown and Gollum had shrunk. A tall stern shadow, a mighty lord who hid his brightness in gray cloud. At his feet, a little whining dog. Yet the two were in some way akin and not alien. They could reach one another's minds. Gollum raised himself and began pawing at Frodo, fawning at his knees. Like, that was a cool section. Sam is really he knows people. I think he's like really perceptive in how he can like understand people. But I love this section of Frodo like almost surprising him. And Sam being able to see the vast difference between Frodo and Gollum, but also they're like almost the same creature, which is concerning.
I think part of it is just Frodo's on his own now.
Yeah.
And so like he has to be in charge. He has to take charge. And then he kind of did that already with Boromir before he died, because he was like, no, you're just making me more sure of what I have to do. Like the way you're acting, I have to go. I have to destroy it or whatever he decided to do. And then like he just ran off by himself. Like he was prepared to just do the journey alone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's his second, like, I don't know, his second act of like being the one in charge. And then Sam, I feel like, is just watching it all happen, change. And he's like, okay, you know, like I'm your little servant, which is weird. I don't really like that because it's kind of like that in the movie.
Yeah, but it's not. They're
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
But
it's very different.
There was a paragraph where he was like, he just saw that Frodo was different and like it wasn't up for discussion. Like this is just how it's gonna be. But yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You guys have anything else in chapter 1 before we go to chapter 2?
I'm just wondering about Frodo reading what the ring said. I'm curious if there was any power in reading it. It felt like cool and all. And it even made me wonder, did Gollum even know what it said? Has he ever seen it? Did he ever throw it in fire? I assume he kind of did, but I just wasn't sure. And then I thought it was a weird distinction to say, what do you say? Not on it. Don't swear on the ring,
swear
by the ring.
What is that?
Like,
what is the difference?
Is that an old English thing that I don't fully get? Strange.
That is one of the questions I think we've had maybe the most in this, is like, really, what does the ring do? What are the effects of the ring? What is the power of the ring? And then this whole thing of like swearing on the ring versus by the ring, and what hold it really has on Gollum is really interesting to me. I don't fully understand that. I don't know what this swearing on the ring is really going to do, because, you know, Gollum could just have his like, you know, fingers crossed behind his back. Is this thing, how binding is this thing going to be? Because Frodo does it, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, we're good now. You can let him go, Sam. He won't run away. Like, no, this is absurd.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for this dude. Because in the next chapter that starts, it says, Frodo and Sam were hard put to keep up with him, but he seemed no longer to have any thought of escaping. I'm like, okay, so this definitely seems to be binding Gollum in some way, but
yeah, like why did it actually change him? And it's not like he's not really fighting himself anymore to obey them. He's just like, okay, I promise. And then he's actually changed, which is crazy.
Maybe it's just because like he's so obsessed with the ring that any mention of it, like he wants to please it and wants it. So like,
but does he already have his plan made all the way in his mind? Because like, so. Or does that happen when they get to the gate? I think
that kind of happens when they get to the gate. Maybe right before the gate, I would say.
I was trying to play with the idea of this being like a true binding promise, and I was wondering if Frodo made any promises. And it almost feels like the ring is the mediator in this promise keeping, where then Smeagol actually feels like he can't, because if he breaks this and he swore by the ring won't like him as much or something. Like the ring will feel betrayed. So he's like, no, I did swear by the ring. But then it also says, from that moment, a change which lasted for some time came over him. So sometime, what caused it to change? I guess we'll see. Was it a real change? Did Frodo do something to make the change go the other way? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that I have. I don't know if, just the whole idea of the ring, the soft magic system of this thing is kind of confusing. But it's interesting.
We're getting little glimpses.
Yeah. All right, Taming of Smeagol. Unless we have anything else, unless we have anything else in Taming of Smeagol, let's go to the Passage of the Marshes.
That's it for me.
Beautiful. We already touched on some of the things in this chapter, but one of the first things that I really liked about this chapter, and I think Tolkien is doing a good job of this, is like having the Frodo and Sam almost be like foil characters for each other for Smeagol himself. Like one is very trusting. And later we learn he's not like fully trusting, but like he's in control of the situation. And Sam is just so distrusting of this person. And I'm definitely on Sam's side of this. I'm like, no, he's done nothing to deserve your trust. You just sworn on the ring and you're assuming that this creature is going to be okay with that after. And I'm like, no, there needs to be a lot of proof. I like slit his throat. Like, don't mess with this creature anymore. But another part of that I love about this is that they don't, and we know from the movies, obviously, that like Smeagol plays a huge part in the destruction of the ring. So it's like fate is still guiding this right here. Fate seems to be very much guiding Frodo. And like there's all sorts of like little angels and demons on his shoulder, like trying to guide him in different directions. But like Frodo feels like he's staying true to what he thinks and he knows. So I'm like, everything that Frodo says, I'm like bowing down and worshiping, because I'm like, he seems like he's guided by providence and fate here. Like more than other people, to be honest. I don't know though.
Chapter summary. Gollum leads them through the dead marshes. Softer magic than in the movies. They're questioning if they can really trust Gollum as they go.
And Smeagol doesn't really know his way through the marshes.
Not as much as I thought. It feels like he's just really good at figuring it out as he goes.
Yeah.
I also love that there was a little bit of a riddle here, because it to me feels like in the movies, the Hobbit and the riddles never really jived with what we see in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I liked seeing a little bit of a riddle come out. It's like, oh, this is that Gollum that we've seen before.
He's like obsessed with riddles, still telling riddles in the Hobbit. Yeah, I like that they do this for his song in the movies when he has the fish, to catch a fish so juicy sweet. I love like the movies. I mean, for everyone that complains about the movies, I think they really do capture a lot of the spirit of this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's crazy how when you read the books, you realize they put so many of the songs in the movies, but just in small little lines.
Oh, yeah.
Where real fans can be like, oh my gosh, that's like the line. And I was talking about this with two other things. Like, I think they missed certain things, like, Sauron's corporeal form. Like, I think him as the eye was an interesting representation of him, but I think they could have done that maybe a little bit better. And then one thing that I think they really nailed in the whole series, which we'll talk about even at the end of the Black Gate chapter, was just like the sacrificial nature of these characters and everything that Frodo and Sam were talking about. Like there's a moment where in this chapter where Frodo is like, oh, Sam, my dearest Hobbit, my Hobbit of Hobbit, my best friend. I don't think we're going to have a return journey. I don't think we need to worry about the food that comes after this. And he's essentially preparing him to die. And Sam like kneels, his tears fall on Frodo's hand. And then in the very next chapter, Sam kind of has a remembrance of this and he's like processing through it. And so he goes, oh man, what if my old gaffer would see me now? But he's like, I won't be able to see him again. He's like, what I would do to see that guy's face again. I'm like sitting there going, no, because Sam is like processing his own death, coming to grips with the fact that he is going to die in this journey. And that is tragic because Sam is like still an optimist in this. And that was a tragic section for me when I came across that.
And for it to happen so early.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For them to know this early on, like, oh yeah, we're probably not coming back.
Yes. Oh, it's just such good writing. He goes, yeah, this is the whole line. I don't know how long we shall take to finish, said Frodo. We were miserably delayed in the hills, but Samwise Gamgee, my dear Hobbit, indeed, Sam, my dearest Hobbit, friend of friends, I do not think that we need to give thought to what comes after that. To do the job, as you put it. What hope is there that we ever shall? And if we do, who knows what will come of that? If the one goes into the fire and we are at hand, I ask you, Sam, are we ever likely to need bread again? I think not. If we can nurse our limbs to bring us to Mount Doom, that is all we can do. More than I begin to feel. Sam nodded silently. He took his master's hand and bent over it. He did not kiss it, though. His tears fell on it. Then he turned away, drew a sleeve over his nose, and got up and stamped about, trying to whistle and sang between the efforts. Where's that dreaded creature? Oh, I love that. It's so sad, though. Ah, just such good writing. But yeah, I do love Sam. I love his distrust in Smeagol. He's kind of keeping Frodo in check, keeping him in balance. But yeah, they keep, and again, back to this oath thing, they keep talking about the promise because, like, Frodo is very sure in this. Some of these lines, it says, "Perhaps you're right, Sam," said Frodo, speaking openly. "There is a change in him, but just what kind and how deep, I'm not yet sure. Seriously, though, I don't think there is any need for fear at present. Still watch if you wish. Give me about 2 hours, no more, and then call me." And later it says, "Don't worry," said Frodo. "There is no help for it, but he'll come back. You'll see. The promise will hold yet a while, and he won't leave his precious anyway." Which I'm like, how does Frodo know this? He just is in control of the situation.
Yep.
Like if I am Sam in this story right now, going like, "Oh, he's gone. He's out of here." Like clearly I'd be out. But Frodo's like, "No, he'll be back."
I'd just be like, as long as it looks like we're going in the right direction,
Yeah,
like,
right?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
As long as like I have a sword on me, I can kill him if I need to. Looks like we're going in the right way. Let's just go. I'm more like
Let's just keep
Frodo, I
marching.
think. Yeah.
That's impressive. I am not at all. I am very distrustful of this dude.
I don't know, because Frodo just knows the power of the ring, I think. And I think Frodo's almost trusting the ring that it's always going to bring Gollum back to them
Yeah.
more than anything about Gollum.
Yeah, I kind of think so. Yeah, it seems like Frodo just understands, like has like almost like a camaraderie, kind of like a kindred spirit with him because he just knows the power of the ring, and Frodo and Gollum knows that too. So I think they have this like weird like balance together kind of.
And it feels like Smeagol or Gollum has been following them for however long they've been journeying so far.
Yeah.
This must be better than having to hide way back behind them.
Yeah.
So even if he did lose them and then they kept going through the marshes, found their own way, he would still be following them probably. So he might as well follow with them. Frodo's got good instincts.
Yeah. Yeah, he really does. A lot better than the movies. And the movies, it's weird too. Like when you watch the movies, at this point, Frodo is like almost incapacitated. Like he can't do anything. He just like sits around and like doesn't have that many good moments. And I'm curious how the books are going to keep going. If maybe he will like start to cave to the power of the ring a little bit. But he's still so strong and so in control and like a master of his fate at this moment. So different. But yeah.
There was only the light thing where he's looking at these candles of corpses. Frodo was standing lost in thought, looking at the pale lights. And then Sam, I felt like kind of had to snap him out of it, not in some extreme way, but just like, hey, don't look at them. Gollum says we shouldn't. Although also like now he trusts Gollum.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I agree with this one. Let's not look at those creepy things.
Wait, but he goes, "I tried once, but you cannot reach them. We tried once, yes. Only shapes to see, perhaps, not to touch." And then Sam looked darkly at him and shuddered again, thinking that he guessed why Smeagol had tried to touch them. I was like, why did he try to touch them? I don't know why.
Yeah. It's a great question. I think.
And how do you
he's
get out
trying
of
to
it?
Eat them.
A little food.
That's probably my guess.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But I don't know. That's
Why,
too
though?
creepy. I think he's starving. He's going off. He's eating worms right now. He's talking about birds. I think Smeagol is so hungry right now at this moment that he's like looking in and like, when he was going before. He was probably so hungry that he was like,
Might as well.
flesh.
Yeah.
Let me dig in. That's my guess, though. I don't know. I did another essay about this, but this is like a cool thing that I found in this one section that Smeagol talks about Sauron. All the pronouns that he uses are all capitalized, and Sauron's pronouns are capitalized by no other real character in the books, maybe by a few here and there. And it was just interesting. It was like Smeagol has so much like fear and reverence of this character that like Tolkien felt it appropriate to, I guess, capitalize in this moment.
That is a good catch.
So I was like, that's kind of a cool little thing. I was like doing some research. There's a moment on Amon Hen when Frodo is like seeing the great eye, but he doesn't capitalize the pronoun there. So it's a fun little tidbit. Yeah, these little what's in your guys' like image of these little candles and these little wisps? People were talking about this when in some comments talking about these things are willow wisps. I don't really know what willow wisps are because I'm not like deep into fantasy lore, I guess.
Oh, that's a fantasy thing, will-o-wisps?
Yeah, it's like things that live in bogs that are like they look like mist, they look like fog, and they're not like real or form, but this is like the exact description of them. They're like they have like these lights in them, and they're like it's almost like the light at the end of the tunnel. If you focus on it long enough, it'll like lead you into the water and like lead you to your death. You'll join the lights. Are you looking them up?
Yeah.
There's a Ted Naismith did a depiction of them, but it's like just looks like fog and like lights and lit up fog.
You want the Will-O-Wisp or you want like Lord of the Rings?
Do Will-O-Wisp. Lord of the Rings Will-O-Wisp. Let's look that up. Maybe I'm saying that wrong too. I don't know.
This is Disney. Disney did that.
Hey,
I forget.
yeah. That was a cute little thing. Cute little guy.
I don't know. I fear that I've just lost my imagination to the movie at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
It was pretty much the exact same as the movie.
Yeah.
I was picturing like fireflies or something, but it felt too cheerful. I'm
Yeah,
like, this is a
right?
creepy place. So then whatever light I was imagining didn't fit this. So then I was like dismissing it. I'm like, nah, it can't be that. No, it can't be that. And then I think I just pictured a normal bog and I imagined anything that was light was just in their heads.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are they getting high on these bog juices in the air and they're just like
Probably.
not seeing clearly and they're kind of like in a weird mental state? And then Frodo staring out at the water made me think, yeah, he's getting a little delirious. So I don't know if they were real or not.
It felt like there's I don't know, I've seen like movies where maybe like for what's the why can't I think of him? Charles Dickens. I feel like there's been like things that I've read from Charles Dickens where like someone will be like sneaking around doing like something bad in a grave or in a bog, and all of a sudden they'll see like a light, and that's like terrifying to see in a bog. I'm like, I could see how eerie it could be, like if you're just in the middle of this bog and it's like at night or even day, and all of a sudden you see these like lights floating around. That would be terrifying. But I don't know, I kind of imagine fireflies, but like scary fireflies.
I also kind of pictured
Scary.
it. I don't know if you can imagine like when you're stargazing sometimes, the thing you're staring directly at, you can't see, but you can see more stars in your peripheral vision, something
Ooh,
about
yeah,
like
yeah.
where your retina is in
Ooh,
your
that's
eye.
cool.
So it was just the idea of like they're uneasy lights because you can't see them when you're looking at them, but then they're always in the side. But then when you look, they're like kind of not there. So that's what makes you like stare harder. You're like, I just saw it. Where is this? And you kind of, I don't know, something about being disoriented too in it.
Yeah.
Because these can't be pleasant lights.
Yeah,
Most
right?
lights are pleasant.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually. There is we've talked about this a little bit before, but Smeagol's fear of the wraiths is nuts in the book, because it talks about it says wraiths he race on wings, the precious is their master, they see everything, nothing can hide from them, curse the white face, and they tell him everything he sees, he knows. Gollum. It was not until the moon had sunk westering far away beyond Tol Brandir that he would get up or make a move, which had to have been hours.
Right.
So I'm like, he's so paranoid by this that he doesn't want to move. And then there's another section of the books where it says Frodo actually had to draw his sword on him to like make him get up and move. And I'm like,
yeah,
he's that paralyzed by these things that he doesn't want to move. Like, what did they do to him? It's like kind of tragic, actually.
I also didn't like this dynamic that the next line is, from that time on, Sam thought he saw a change in Gollum again.
Yeah.
He was more fawning and would be friendly, but there were strange looks in his eyes. So right there, I thought, did that wraith actually send some kind of signal to him? Did it actually make him change, or did it just remind him of his mission? Like, oh wait, they actually can find me. And if they do, I want to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Is he still on the mission?
Interesting, actually.
And how does he know that they talk and tell everything too? Like he had to have seen that in action.
Yeah,
'Cause
true.
nobody else really knows what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe, yeah.
When he was in Mordor.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe he like saw the Palantir in action, or like saw them communicating with that
Or maybe
somehow.
they grabbed him.
That's a really interesting point. Actually, I didn't think of it that way. I thought this was more like paranoia, but maybe he actually does think he sees everything because of the Palantir. Maybe he got a vision through this. Or like
'cause
maybe
no one. I feel like no one talks about what they do. They just hunt the ring, and
Yeah.
he's like, no, they say everything. They tell you. They see, like, I don't know. I
that's
feel like
so
you have to
fascinating.
know a
I
little
actually
more.
never really put that together. Interesting. Wow, that's gonna change my like perception of that now. Because there's another things people were making a note of this too. Like so people are kind of questioning what Sauron is doing right now, and they're like he's like navigating with the Palantir. So maybe he went to like Sauron's own chambers where Sauron could like torture him and like get this information out of him. Because a lot of people say too that Sauron wouldn't trust anybody else with this. He's like almost like Voldemort in that sense with his Horcruxes.
Oh,
He doesn't
yeah.
want anybody knowing about this. He doesn't want anybody knowing information about the ring. Because I'm interested too with the ring wraiths. Like they live to serve the ring, and they don't live to serve Sauron. So if a ring wraith ever were to come across the ring, would he bring it back to Sauron, or would he take it for his own? They're wraiths, so I don't know if they could take it for their own. But it's like they're ever drawn to the power of the ring. They're not necessarily drawn to Sauron himself.
Yeah.
So Sauron is using these things and these creatures, but none of these creatures seem completely loyal to him. They just seem like they fear him.
Right.
Like even they were talking
That's
about
so
this
interesting.
in the beginning of this book when there was the differences between all the orcs. Like there were people from Mordor, and they were like making fun of each other, and they're like, "Oh, at least we don't eat flesh," and they're like, "Oh, interesting. Like there's orcs that maybe are vegetarians or something like that.
Yeah.
What's going on here?" And there was like a fear. I remember that the Mordor orcs had of Sauron himself. They almost didn't want to be in his service. They were like fearful and like doing this out of like, "Oh, I can't believe we have to be here and do this."
So weird.
Yeah, it actually kind of is fascinating to see this whole thing.
I'm curious if they could wear the ring if they found it, and what it means in the darkness bind them. Like if that ring controls them, and if Sauron put his malice and everything into the ring, but Galadriel was tempted on some level to take the ring.
Yeah.
I think Gandalf was tempted on some level, although he doesn't have a ring, but Galadriel does have one of the other rings, and she theoretically would be able to take it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if ring wraiths could, but
Interesting.
But wait, who are the ring wraiths again? Because those are the 9.
The 9 rings that Sauron. So Sauron made. I don't know if Sauron made these actually.
What type
9
of
rings were
thing are
made?
they though?
Huh?
What type of like?
Men.
Okay, they're human.
They're men. They were given to
Okay.
the 9 of the most powerful kings in Middle Earth at the time.
Okay.
Because
I don't feel like they could keep the one ring though, because they're already gone.
Yeah,
They're already in
they're already wraith
the
form.
in the unknown
oh, interesting.
space.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So they might not
that's
be
the
able to even
darkness
wear
that
a
you
ring.
Get bound into.
Like
Like maybe there is an escape if you have
true,
the
because they're
one.
kind of not like living, so they might not be able to even put the ring on.
Yeah, that's
their
interesting.
original rings put them into.
Don't they
spirit
have the
world
rings
or
on
whatever.
in the movie?
Yeah, I think they would, but could they put on another ring? Well, they can wear cloaks.
Yeah.
They can wear armor, so I guess they can ride horses.
Yeah. You just be a cloak, a floating ring, and a horse.
There was another description here that said, even the mirror of dead faces, some haggard phantom of green spring would come. But here, neither spring nor summer would ever come again. I was like, oh, the Chronicles of Narnia. It's going to be forever winter there or something. But this place is just creepy. I don't love it.
Yeah.
It says, for a while they stood there, like men on the edge of sleep, where nightmares lurk, holding it off. Though they know what they can only Though they know they can only come to morning through the shadows, the light broadened and hardened. The gasping pits and poisonous mounds grew hideously clear. The sun was up, walking among the clouds and the long flags of smoke. But even the sunlight was defiled. The hobbits had no welcome for that light. Unfriendly it seemed, revealing them in their helplessness. Little squeaking ghosts that wandered among the ash heaps of the Dark Lord. Like, that is terrifying. Why does he have ash heaps, first of all? Is he burning bodies? What's going on there?
Yes.
Yeah, that is so weird.
But this whole thing is just like, I just love the writing there, because it's like the light comes up, and from this point, we've only seen Gollum hate the light. And all of a sudden, Sam and Frodo are now like, ugh, we feel exposed in the light. They're almost becoming like Gollum to some extent, longing for like the darkness and the shadow.
Suddenly, Sam woke up thinking that he heard his master calling. It was evening. Frodo could not have called, for he had fallen asleep. So that is really weird, because at first I thought they're high on these swamp gases. But then I thought it's Gandalf or some kind of fate speaking to Sam in his mind, because what are the chances he would wake up for this exchange just to solidify his lack of trust in Gollum? Good timing.
Really good timing.
Good fate timing.
Yeah. That is actually really interesting.
But I chose to think of it as a positive thing, nudging him in the right direction rather than going crazy or being high on gases.
Yeah. But this whole conversation was terrifying, though. Like, especially, I've talked about this before, but each time that the second thought spoke, Gollum's long hand crept out slowly, pawing toward Frodo, and then was drawn back with a jerk as Smeagol spoke again. Finally, both arms with long fingers flexed and twitching, clawed toward his neck. Like, terrifying stuff.
So I took that to mean the one arm was going out, and that was Gollum.
Yeah.
One arm. And then both arms meant Gollum and Smeagol both are like, yeah, you're right, let's kill him.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
How is Sam so okay with this?
I know.
Also, he played it really cool.
Yeah,
I was like,
gosh.
way to go, Sam.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Like opening one eye, pretending like he's asleep that whole time. That was
And
really,
then
really
just like
well done.
stirring like, oh, I'm waking up right now. What?
Yeah.
But it still felt like I'm wondering what Sam is thinking his plan is now. Now that he knows if he didn't stir, was he going to try and kill Frodo right then?
Yeah.
It also feels weird because what if Sam didn't stir and just waited a second longer? And let's say he legit was trying to strangle Frodo and Sam jumps up right away. Would that be enough to convince Frodo like, oh yeah, we can't trust him. You're right.
Yeah.
Because it
Great
almost
point.
feels like maybe it would have been better to let him go another second longer. Or maybe that's dangerous. I
Want
don't
him
know.
to attack.
Yeah. Like while Gollum's hands are around his neck, Sam can get up
Sounds
and
like-
go,
Like
I told
Frodo,
you so.
right now, what do you think?
yeah, what do you think about this situation going on?
Should we still trust him? Huh?
All right. Do you guys have anything else in this chapter before we go to last?
Just another little divine mention. A great heaviness was in all his limbs, but he roused himself with effort and sat up. Something warned him to be careful and not reveal that he had overheard the debate. So again, that's in Sam's mind. Like
Something roused
something
him.
warned him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another wraith flyby. Terrible speed into the west.
It's also interesting to read this in light of the fact that this is essentially Frodo's retelling of the thing. So everything that he's getting from other people are eyewitness accounts of these things. So like Sam is telling him and telling Frodo in this moment while Frodo's writing this down. He's like, I had this weird pit in my stomach that I knew that, I needed to do X and Y. And he just kind of follows it. Again, it feels like fate is really guiding them at this moment.
That is interesting. It's a lot easier to assign good intuition in hindsight sometimes. So I don't know, but he at least feels that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sam's like, oh, no, I knew all along, Come on. All right. Black Gate is closed. Chapter 3. We'll wrap it up with this chapter.
Deliberation at the Black Gate. Pretty much the whole chapter is at the Black Gate.
Yeah.
The Black Riders were seen, then men from the south. And by the end of the chapter, Frodo decides to listen to Smeagol and go to Cirith Ungol.
Yes. Cirith Ungol. This is the other line that I thought was devastating that I mentioned before, but, well, we are here, said Sam. Here's the gate. And it looks to me as if that's about as far as we're ever going to get. My word, but the gaffer would have a thing or two to say if he saw me now. Often said I come to a bad end if I didn't watch my step he did, but now I don't suppose I'll ever see the old fellow again. He'll miss his chance of I told you so, Sam. Where's the pity? He can go on telling me as long as he got breath, if only he could see his old face again. But I'd have to get a wash first or he wouldn't know me. Like, I love that little comedic levity moment there. But it's so sad that Sam is like grieving his own death here. He almost knows. And he's like, oh, he's like thinking about all the things that he wishes he would have done, which is like one of the biggest things I think in his life right now is that he wishes he would have, hugged the old gaffer before he left on his journey or did something. So, just tragic. And then you have in the next section, Smeagol saying, he'll eat us all if he gets it. All the world.
Yeah, what in the world? He'll eat us? What
Very
do you
strange.
mean?
Yeah. He goes, keep it, nice master. Or be kind to Smeagol. Don't let him have it. Or go away to a nice place and give it back to little Smeagol. Yes, master, give it back, eh? Smeagol will keep it safe. He will do lots of good, especially to nice hobbits. Hobbits, go home. Don't go to the gate. Like he's trying to sneak that in there real quick. Oh man.
Two lines that I liked here. If there is only one way, then I must take it. Frodo just like so definitive. And then Sam saying, being a cheerful hobbit, he had not needed hope as long as despair could be postponed.
Yeah, that line was so good.
I was like, oh, whoa. Yeah. Like he's like, I don't even need hope yet. I'm just happy to, like not despair. And that's my goal right now.
It seems like the Hobbit mantra. Like that's what they do.
Yeah.
They just delay hope. Or they delay despair as long as they can.
Another weird question, or just like random, at the beginning of the chapter, upon them stood the teeth of Mordor, two towers strong and tall. In days past, they were built by men of Gondor in their pride and power. Blah, blah, blah. Sauron takes over. Gondor failed. Are those the two towers? And then it made me think, what are the two towers? I thought
Great question.
the two towers, like, and Jen's here. We hope. I thought the two towers were Orthanc and the tower
Barad-dûr.
the eye is on.
Yeah.
Is that Barad-dûr?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yes. I thought those were the two towers. But then when it said this, I'm like, for it to actually say the two towers in writing in the book, two towers strong and tall. I was like, maybe are these? Also, are one of these towers, like, are these towers just way in the background?
Yeah.
Because then I thought maybe one is Barad-dûr and the other one is whichever one is near Osgiliath. What's the one called where the wraiths live, or near where they take the stairs?
Yeah. That's Cirith Ungol.
Cirith Ungol is that one? Yeah.
That's where the pass is. I forgot what the place is called. It's like the Tower of the Moon and the Tower of the Sun, which weirdly on our books, it has that. Or
Yeah,
it has
that's what I'm
this
looking at.
tower has the moon, this tower has the sun.
And they've mentioned the moon and the sun a bunch of times as
I
the
know.
white and yellow face recently.
Also the hand.
Yeah. The little
black
creepy, that's the
hand.
white hand of Sauron, I guess.
Oh,
So-
but then it's
Maybe?
something. It said the black hand of Sauron somewhere.
Yeah.
It did say that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought
His
it
black
might be
hand,
that.
his black four-fingered hand.
So
I think
moon
this
and
is
sun,
actually,
that sounds
Can
like
we
a good
Google
two
what the
towers.
two towers are?
I actually think that this is debatable because I know the more I've been doing these, like every once in a while I'll say, oh, I'm on the second book, or I'm reading the Two Towers in Lord of the Rings. And people are like, no. Tolkien wrote this in one version and his publishers made him break it up into 3 books.
Whoa.
Because
Wait, is that so he wrote them all just straight?
Yeah.
Boom.
he wanted them published that way too.
Wow.
He wanted that one complete copy published, but his publisher made him break it up. And so when they were coming up with the title for the second book, I think they just threw Two Towers out there or something like that because there was a lot of Two Towers in the book. And one was, hey, what's up? One idea was I think Orthanc and Barad-dûr. And the other is like these two at the entrance of the Morannon or the Black Gate. And then the other two towers that we have are Minas Tirith and Cirith Ungol or whatever that Minas Morgul. So I'm like
right.
the Tower of I think the Tower of the Rising Sun and the Tower of the Setting Sun, or I forgot exactly what it was called. I don't think it was the Tower of the Moon and the Sun. I think it was the Tower of the Rising Sun and the Setting Sun. Yes, I know. He's like protecting you. He's like, what do you got in there? But a lot of people don't say it's obviously Minas Ethel. I don't know actually.
What is that?
This is a new one.
Minas
Curveball.
Ethel is
What is this?
It's
Minas Ethel is the
obviously-
old name for Minas Morgul.
Oh well. Oh
think.
yeah, yeah.
I could
is
be
that the
wrong
one by
about
the
all
gate?
this.
Minas Morgul's by the gate. I mean, by the
No.
stairs.
By the stairs, yeah.
Okay.
Minas Morgul and Barad-dûr are both like. This map's too small.
But yeah.
Where's our online super map?
I'm really
I just
curious
have
what the two towers
The
are.
background on my computer is the map now, so
Yeah,
it's
nice.
just the map. I definitely this chapter I feel like I fell off a little bit. I was like, all right, long hike.
Oh, yeah.
I got the point.
It was a short chapter, so I like appreciated that. I actually still really love this chapter, but like after the first 2 pages of like this dialogue and they stop, then there's just like Smeagol is going crazy.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But yeah, the two towers kind of interesting because I don't know what they are yet.
But that is good perspective that he wrote them all and the chapters were kind of after. I mean, the
Yeah.
breaking up of the books. So the names don't have as grand of meaning maybe as you might think from JRR.
Yeah. I'm not really reading chat all that much because, you know, I'll read it maybe later, but someone is actually saying, I don't know if this is a joke or not. Helm's Deep in Orthanc. Because Helm's Deep did have a tower. The Tower of Helm Hammerhand. Or the Horn of Helm Hammerhand.
And that is
Maybe
like-
a little bit of a tower.
Center of the book.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
But
maybe
it-
that's the two towers.
It doesn't resonate with
Yeah.
me just because it didn't mention the tower as being so grand. Like it maybe mentioned it was there, but did it even say tower or just tall part of the wall or
Yeah,
something? You
maybe,
know,
yeah.
like so that feels like a stretch.
Yeah.
But Orthanc feels like a real tower and it's been mentioned
Yeah,
for multiple
agreed.
books. And the eye feels like it's on a real tower. It's been mentioned for a while. We've known it's existed. But all the other towers feel like they're less important. But
Yeah.
Orthanc feels like it's fading in importance.
Yeah.
But I guess that was only the end of the. I don't know. And what did you think? Oh, you don't even have a mic, Jen. We gotta adjust the
I
mics
figured
here.
you
We'll
guys
share.
you guys could share.
It's fun, set up as it should be.
So, what do you think?
I don't know what you guys are exactly talking about.
All the chapters you read today.
Yeah, what did you think about them? Did you like them or actually, Jen, answer this. Did you like them or were you kind of bored by them a little bit?
Towards the end, they were kind of boring, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, well, also, I'm listening to it, and it's very confusing. I don't know why they have the chapters laid out so differently than the book.
What do you mean? The movie?
No, the audiobook. It just says 1920, but like 19 and 20 are actually chapter 1.
Mm.
And then so I was kind of confused if you're asking me the chapters. I don't really know.
But just
what do
you feel about the story?
It
No wrong answer.
I can't think right now. Why'd you put me on the spot? Give me like a second.
Yeah, take your
All
time.
right, it's ready whenever you're ready.
There was another really good moment in this chapter that I liked with, I mean, we've been talking a little bit about just like the power that Frodo has in these chapters, like the command that he has. And this is one of my favorite paragraphs that he has because he like catches them. Like Sam thinks in this moment that Frodo is naive and he's like not really seeing through Gollum. And then all of a sudden this moment happens. And I love this second paragraph that follows. So this is what it says. I did not mean the danger that we all share, said Frodo. I mean a danger to yourself alone. You swore a promise by what you call the precious. Remember that. It will hold you to it, but it will seek a way to twist it to your own undoing. Already you are being twisted. You revealed yourself to me just now foolishly. Give it back to Smeagol, you said. Do not say that again. Do not let that thought grow in you. You will never get it back. But the desire of it may betray you to a bitter end. You will never get it back. In the last need, Smeagol, I should put on the precious, was what you were mentioning before, Danny. And the precious mastered you long ago. If I, wearing it, were to command you, you would obey, even if it were to leap from a precipice or to cast yourself into the fire. And such would be my command. So have a care, Smeagol. And then I love the next sentence goes, Sam looked at his master with approval. It's like, finally, he's on my side.
There we go.
But he goes, but also a surprise. There was a look in his face and a tone in his voice that he had not known before. It had always been a notion of his that the kindness of dear Mr. Frodo was of such a high degree that it must imply a fair measure of blindness. Of course, he also firmly held the incompatible belief that Mr. Frodo was the wisest person in the world, with the possible exception of old Mr. Bilbo and of Gandalf. Gollum in his own way, and with much more excuse as his acquaintance was much briefer, and may have made a similar mistake confusing kindness and blindness. At any rate, this speech abashed and terrified him. He groveled on the ground and could hear and could speak no clear words, but nice master. And says Frodo waited patiently for a while, then he spoke again less sternly. Come now, Gollum or Smeagol, if you wish. Tell me of this other way, and show me, if you can, what hope is there in it. Enough to justify me in turning aside from my plain path? I am in haste. Just a great section of writing right there.
Yeah.
Like, I love Frodo's firmness right there. I love Sam looking at his master with approval. He's like happy about that. It's just so good. But also just the fact that he's like, if I put this thing on and I command you to go into the fire, you would. And that would be my command. Like, excuse me, Frodo? Hold on. What? What is going on there? That was harsh.
It just made me wonder if things in the third at the end were orchestrated more intentionally than the movie led on.
Yeah, really.
Where I was like, if that would be his command.
Mm.
And was the ring in there at all with that? Because to me, that just felt a little harsh. The threat, the whole thing, it felt more than necessary. So I felt like there was maybe a little sprinkling of ring power influencing that harshness.
Agreed, for sure. One question that I have in this chapter is, who are the Silent Watchers? There's a section that Smeagol is talking about.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to like Minas Ithil or Minas Morgul or Bear or whatever the 20 names for this place are. Nothing moves on the road
that they don't know
that
about.
they don't know about. The things inside know. The Silent Watchers.
I feel like it's many things.
Yeah. Is this
Trees,
Yeah.
animals, people. I don't know. I felt like it's just like the whole world is watching you.
so?
Like
Is this then like Smeagol's paranoia that everyone is watching him, or is this like something actually real that's watching?
Well, I think he probably has reason to think that something is watching him, or it has been, especially if he knows the Nazgul are already like reporting what they see. It just feels like that has already happened to him. Like he's already been watched. So now he's like paranoid, but he's warning them. But I think he's like justified. Because I feel like he gets called to Mordor and then gets like tortured and let out. And then he probably encounters all these orcs. Like, I think all of his Mordor knowledge is real and like all his fears justified. But I don't really think he's like a servant of the Dark Lord. But
he seems like an independent mercenary, like contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a ranger in his own way over there.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just paranoia. It's even capitalized too, like it's an official thing, a real title, The Silent Watchers. He thinks they're always watching. Now, I keep thinking of the comparison you made in the one video about the Game of Thrones guy. I forget his
Theon,
name. Theon Greyjoy, yeah. And that would kind of track as a torture thing where he was so crazy by this torture that they may have actually played weird tricks or let him think he's escaping, but then he actually gets taken back. Or they let him get almost out of Mordor and then they bring him back and tell him that spies were watching.
Yep.
You know, give him the idea that no matter where you go or what you do, we always know what you're doing. So if they built that into his head through torture methods, he would be paranoid forever.
And someone is saying, and I kind of read this before too, because I think it's going to be different in the movie and the book, but they do have the depiction of the Silent Watchers in the movie.
Ooh.
You know those like two goat things that are sticking their tongue out really long?
Yeah. Those are the Silent
What?
Watchers?
Yeah. So they're
Like
like
on
statues,
the
like
wall
little
kind of.
gargoyle kind of things. Yeah.
Right.
So those are like the Silent Watchers. Maybe Smeagol saw them and is like terrified of them.
I have to Google it.
Yeah. It's a creepy section of the movie. I'm like, ooh, that was weird.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if there's going to be a difference in the book where they're going to be like more like brooding. I mean, they're pretty brooding in the movie too, but
Oh, the giant things. The Silent Watchers.
But I guess that's an interesting thought. But I guess the other weird part that I was trying to figure out, nothing moves on the road that they don't know about. But it says the road climbs right under the shadow of the walls and then passes the gate. Nothing moves that they don't know about. And then Sam's kind of like, so that's your advice? So we're going to be stuck in the same spot. So I'm also a little confused that then it says he can't see everything at once. And it feels like the path, like Cirith Ongol feels like, wouldn't they see that too? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Or he's saying if they take that path, they're not going to be on the road. They're going to be near the road, or they're going to
Yeah.
get off the road before they reach the Silent Watchers. But then again, I was picturing in the movies like how close they actually get. So I guess we'll see how it's portrayed.
yeah, I'm really curious about that.
Does Smeagol definitively know or not know about the Palantir? He doesn't know, right? Or
Your
we
theory
think
has me thinking that he
maybe
does.
He saw it. Okay.
I feel like he almost does now because he's so paranoid about like Sauron and all these other people seeing and watching him that I'm like, maybe he really
But
does
why
know
would
what's going on.
Sauron let him see that?
Because maybe
Or
I don't
maybe
know
He
if,
saw it in his travels to the other ones.
yeah, maybe like one of my thoughts was there one near like the city of Dale, which is up where the Lonely Mountain is, where Smeagol was like laying, where he was in the mountain.
Where was
Um,
the one that the song was about? And it said there's like a moon in the tower. Where was that one?
I think that was Orthanc. Before it was Orthanc.
Oh.
I think that was like, or that might have been
I was thinking whatever that town was from Rings of Power.
yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
But I couldn't remember how many Palantirs there were.
Or-
Oh, it's like that crystal ball
Mm.
that Saruman had, and then we find out Sauron has. I saw an article this week about how many companies use Lord of the Rings names for their companies. And this was the first one I thought of, like Palantir.
People went feral over that because this guy like touts himself as like a big, Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm like, everyone who's a Lord of the Rings fan is like, no, this guy's a fraud because he like uses he does surveillance on people, and it's like how dare he name something Palantir and take something from Tolkien, who would have hated
And
this.
besmirch
Yeah.
the name. That's so funny.
Yeah. What else you guys anything else that you guys see in this chapter? Any last little tidbits?
The green gleam in Gollum's eyes. The green is for Gollum, right? And then the pale is Smeagol. And
I think so.
Smeagol is good, Gollum is bad. Is that
I
kind
think
of
so,
the
yeah. I
thing?
think it's like, yeah.
Yellow in his eyes or just in general?
It was green and yellow.
Oh, like the yellow or the pale.
Yellow pale.
No, it could be. I just am thinking of the one line where it said pale. But
Yeah.
most of the time I was hearing it like mention the green. That's what stood
Yeah, the
out a little
green.
bit because
Yep.
it's like odd.
That would actually be really interesting to portray that in a movie, to see how they would actually do that, flipping someone's eye shades between two different colors. Curious if they actually did do that. To some
I know.
extent.
And next time I
Wanna-
watch, I'm
yeah, I
gonna
know.
be
I wanna
looking for
watch.
some things.
I did love the moment when they're talking about Oliphants and Sam says stood up, putting his hands behind his back, as he always did when speaking poetry, and began. And he says this poem that's like a children's rhyme. It's like the most basic poem that we have in the book so
That's
far.
Cute.
But it makes Frodo laugh because like there's this whole moment where
Yep.
Frodo stood up. He laughed in the midst of all his cares when Sam trotted out of the old fireside rhyme of Oliphant, and the laugh had released him from hesitation. I thought that's so good.
So
like
good.
just how a quick laugh can just make him like have a clear mind. I think that's such a good little bit of writing there.
That is good medicine.
Mm-hmm.
We saw another mention of Black Riders,
Mhm.
where the same warning fear was on him as he felt in the presence of the Black Riders, helpless horror. They huddled together. The wing shape wheeled and stooped down swiftly, speeding back to Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it feels like it saw them and is going back to tell a message.
Yeah, right. That seems strange. My reading of that actually was that could have potentially been the moment, and I don't know this for sure. I actually want like a timeline of dates. I think this might have happened even over the marshes, but that might have been the moment when Pippin touches the Palantir, and they're all kind of
Oh.
called back. Like Sauron almost calls them all back to like send them off to different spots.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know for sure about that one. That one seemed a bit strange. It seemed to kind of come out of nowhere.
But it is weird that they're getting so close to Mordor that they're right here. So anytime a Black Rider is leaving or going, they're going to kind of see it, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, good old Sam, just finding humor. The only part of that little rhyme that I thought was funny, and I never lie.
It's an all.
It was just the last like line. I was like, what do you mean?
yeah.
Like Oliphants don't lie? So anyway, trying to read into that. Like we can understand Oliphants. But also it made it sad because then I'm like, I don't want any of them to die.
But yeah, never lie on the ground, not even to
Oh.
die.
Like lie down. And I never lie. True. Never lie on the ground, not even to die. And then it ends with, and I never lie. Okay, yeah, true. It could just be a reminder again that they're always on their feet. Why say it twice? I don't know.
Interesting.
Is that also true?
2 elephants live down.
Yeah. Like
That's actually like, I want to dissect this now.
and you know what else felt weird to me? That Smeagol had not heard of them. I guess in my mind,
Yeah.
I thought of Smeagol as like he's been everywhere.
Yeah, right.
He's old and he has traveled the entire Middle Earth looking for the ring.
Yeah.
I pictured that he knew every blade of grass in Middle Earth. So it was weird that, okay, fine, he didn't make it all the way to the south, but he's never even heard of them.
Yeah. It
And
seems
hobbits who are
bizarre.
way hidden in a nook have heard of them.
I
don't know.
Yeah, that
Thought it
seemed
was
to come out
kinda
of
funny.
nowhere, to be honest. I'm with you on that. Yeah, really bizarre section.
All right, nice. All right, I think that was it. That's all I got in here.
It's a good section. Even though it's like maybe not one of the more scintillating chapters, there's still a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of character development.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff. All right, let's go over some of our favorites and we'll wrap it up. So give me your favorite character, your favorite moment, and who wins the hot tamale.
Wow, not a lot of characters to choose
I
from.
know, there's pretty much
We
three.
got a
So
bracket of 3.
Wait, to answer his question.
Oh, yeah.
So all 3 chapters I thought could have been shortened into one. And if I didn't watch the movies, I think it would have been a little lost.
yeah, that's a good point. They,
and
yeah.
And then I liked the recall, like the rope, the elf rope
That's great.
saving Frodo. But yeah, I was, and listening to it, Gollum is like weeping a lot, so it's like very annoying to listen.
Did you feel
to.
bad for him at all?
Moments, but mostly no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like weird because that's almost how you feel with people like that who in like real life. Like none of us know like someone who's exactly like Smeagol, but you all know like those, some people who are disturbed. And you have like a weird pity with those people mixed with like a little bit of like disgust. Like, no,
Yeah.
you stay away from me.
I like how Frodo handles it though, because Sam doesn't trust him at all.
Yeah.
But Frodo wants to give him a chance and treat him
Mhm.
like kindly for
Yeah.
the most part
Yeah, you're right.
versus Sam.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. Like Frodo is kinder, and then he has to be even harsher at moments, but that allows him to continue to be kind.
Yeah.
But then he starts to trust him, I think, right? Smeagol trusts
Mhm.
Frodo a little bit more.
Yeah. I think he does.
And then he keeps saying he's going to show the master. I loved how he's like, oh, master just said to go to the gate. He never said, like, to get in.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, but that was fun.
And we also didn't talk about it specifically, but in that last chapter, I think he's lying. Like when he says, "Oh, I didn't know what you were doing," because before that point, he had already talked about her.
Oh yeah.
When he
what
was having that little
that?
debate, he's like, "Oh, we can bring him to her." And in the movies, he says that a little later, I think.
And that's
But
in the
my
game.
thought is that's Shelob.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, you'll find out soon. So to me, it's the spider in the little passageway. I don't know if you're about to Google it. And so
Tell me anything.
I feel like if he already
I don't
knew,
remember that.
so how smart is Smeagol that this is the thing? Smeagol's like, oh, all right, well, they're going to get to Mordor. We're obviously not going to go this way. So I can just come up with a way to bring them around, but then plays it off so well that you really, you believe that he's coming up with it on the spot, and Frodo believes him, and Frodo can read him pretty well, I think, and Sam, but they both are like, all right, yeah, I guess this sounds good. Sure, let's change our plans and go to this other creepy
But
place.
What other choice do they have?
Well, they don't have much, but then Smeagol convinces them
Front
by
door.
yeah, but he does it by basically saying, no, you're going to give it to him. Don't do that. Don't go there. And kind of makes it seem like, well, you never told me what we were doing. But obviously he already knew
Yeah.
because he came up with another plan of like where else they might want to go.
Mm.
So this was all just his ploy to then present them with the other option.
Well, Sam believes.
Yeah, Sam doesn't fully believe him. But Smeagol even warns them and kind of says, hey, you're not going to like the look of this thing when you get there. This stair is kind of steep and it's next to a really creepy place and silent watchers and blah, blah, blah.
Lots of these creepy silent watchers.
But again, that's a
hanging
good
out.
strategy to get up ahead of it and be like, you're really not going to like this,
Yeah.
but it's probably better than death
Yeah.
at the Black Gate.
Yeah.
So he's conniving. He's
Very
sneaky.
conniving. All right, let's go over some of the last little bits. Favorite character, favorite moment, hot tamale. Or what are we even calling this now? We always change it. But it was basket of mushrooms. I still like the hot tamale. I just go hot tamale.
I respect.
Hot tamale. Yeah, hot tamale.
It just rolls off the tongue, you know?
know?
Sam is the favorite character for me.
Yeah, same.
He's just great, you know? I think my favorite moment is when they're waiting to catch Smeagol when he's creeping down. Nice moment of creepy, but you're like, oh yeah, they're banding together. Oh man, but also when they're talking about death. Like after I'm done with this book, I think I will remember that conversation about death the most from these chapters of Frodo accepting and then talking to Sam about like, we probably aren't going to live through this.
Yeah.
Like that was powerful. So maybe that'll be my favorite moment. Hot tamale, come back to me. Because I think it's Smeagol, not Smeagol.
Yeah, the Smeagol side of it, not the
Yeah.
Gollum side of thing. I think my hot tamale is Frodo in this because of all the moments that he stood up, like standing up for himself, very firm, is in command of a situation, control. That's like hot tamale energy. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like,
so true.
it's hot. My favorite moment though is which is a sad moment, Sam regretting that he won't see his dad's face again. That just crushed me. That line where I just came to, I was like, no.
Wait. The old gaffer is his dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I was distancing it accidentally, like
The
a friend, an uncle.
So the old gaffer's his dad, and
ugh.
then there was
That
a
is so much
different
sadder.
character that they mentioned who was his uncle. I forgot what his like title was, but he was the person who kept the Baggins garden before the old gaffer did. So he was like he was Bilbo's original, and then it was the old gaffer, and then it was Sam. So it like went down the family line to some extent.
Wow.
But he was like
that makes
Sam's great granduncle or something like that.
So much worse.
Yeah, I know.
He'll never get to see his face again.
I know.
Even to be told, I told you so.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is like a stupid thing. Sorry, I'm going all sorts of side notes, but there's a moment in the third movie, in the extended, I think, where Sam is fighting those three orcs while he's trying to get back up to Frodo and that little other tower, another tower.
Yeah.
And then he goes, that one's for Frodo, Mr. Frodo. He goes, that one's for the Shire. And then he says a line that I never understood. He goes, and that one's, I thought he used to say, that one's for my own temper. I always thought that was a line that he said. But he said, and that one's for my old gaffer. That's what he
he's saying.
says.
Oh,
So he's saying this one's from my dad. So it's a
Makes
great
so
moment.
much sense.
I know. I always thought he said that's for my
Wow.
own temper because he's like mad and he just wants to get it out.
right.
It just makes sense too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But nope, that's for my old gaffer.
Cool.
Okay, my favorite character is Smeagol.
Whoa. Okay, Smeagol, not
He's the
Gollum.
best.
Curveball.
And then I would say Hot Tamale Frodo.
Mm.
Same reason. He's just standing on business.
Yeah.
And my favorite moment, I like the rope, but particularly when Sam is like contemplating how the knot fell apart.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I know how to tie a knot better than anyone in the Shire. And then he's like, I think I called to it and it came down. And like, I just like that he like
Yeah.
trusted himself, but then also didn't really fight with Frodo. He
Mm.
was like, all right, I see how it is. And like, he's like, I know some magical just happened
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I hope they use it again. I can't remember if they ever do, at least in the movies.
Yeah,
Or,
they
like,
need to have
something
like
this
one more
cool.
epic rope thing.
Like, I want to see this like be full circle where Sam knows the rope
Yeah, I
is a little
know.
more powerful
Yeah.
now and
Yeah.
can prove to Frodo that he ties a good knot.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
great. All right. Well,
I don't think. I'm just
Ditto. All the dittos.
ditto. It's just too fresh. Well, thanks for joining us on our journey of the Fellowship of the First Time Readers. Until next time.
Woo!
Always give the woo. I'm really curious when we're gonna meet Faramir. I can't wait to meet Faramir.
yeah, me
I keep
too.
hearing he's so different in the book, and people are like excited for us to meet Faramir. And
It also makes a lot more sense now that I'm like looking at the map as I'm reading. Like, just like, it's funny to look back every time I'm watching the movies. The map doesn't exist to me, and I'm just like, everything makes sense. Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go here, whatever. But it's just becoming so much more real.
yeah, agreed.